Okay, we're going.
There we go.
Yay.
What did I tell you? It's half an hour roughly past the time, and we get to go.
We should give everybody a half an hour early start date. So this is our first match of the day. Should we go and do we want to be cheesy and go around and introduce the players? I guess we really should.
You can just introduce the teams, but it's not like I always do that. At the start, I always did, and at some point, I'm like, yeah, here's Team Yudi, here's Team Grimplex. They fight each other.
Team Yudi in boy pink here. He's playing Cybran, and his enemy team here. He's going to be playing against Grimplex, who's picked Aeon. He's playing in red. So we've got UEF Cybran versus Cybran Aeon. So Team BalanceSlave not taking UEF today. And the balance discussion is already started. Rex saying he's going to
apparently. So this is a great start, because in the previous patch, Aeon and Cybran Frigates were changed, so that Cybran Frigates, which was always the strongest, and Aeon was always the weakest. All of a sudden, Aeon was pretty strong, but in this beta, it got partially reverted. So, so what Rek is saying isn't quite accurate. So yeah, so we will be seeing FTX on air slots almost every game. I can guarantee you that.
Is that because he likes the air slot, or has he been forced to play it?
He likes it.
Is he going to be making Janus? Is that why he's picked?
And he's probably best at on a map like this. Janus is not going to be that great. I mean, maybe it's possible, but you can't overdo it. On land maps, Janus generally are a lot better, because Janus just can't do anything against Navy units. Because they're so much faster and they have so much more HP. It just doesn't work. I mean, you can still go for bases, of course, but
there we go. Let me just put the map on really large, so that if I miss something with the camera, at least everybody will be able to kind of see what's going on. It's like a catch-all. So Yudi's opened second air. He's reclaiming with his engineers. He's queued up all the reclaim manually. He's going for his islands down here. On the top, Snowy 801, and I haven't ever seen a game with Snowy 801 in. Is that a rename, or is this just a player that's a bit quieter? Doesn't really play many tournaments?
Probably the last one. I know his name, but that's mostly from Twitch where I've seen his name. He is definitely one of the. I think he's actually the lowest rated player. No, he's the second lowest rated player of the entire tourney. Right above Aranai. So
4 scouts out here for team 1.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty normal start. Actually, the Rek walks very quickly with his SU to the bottom right.
Yeah. Oh, people are going to complain about the icons, because I'm playing with. I tried the Redux icon pack on small, because I started playing with it and I ended up quite liking it. If everybody hates it in the stream, I will remove it. I will just turn the mod off for next game.
You should remove it.
I will turn it off for next game. Don't worry.
So yeah, so very fast walk from the Rek at the bottom, because generally the side slots kind of fight over that 5 max islands at the bottom. From my experience, I think in theory Judy's slots and Yu's slots are better than the opposite slots. They're just harder to play, because at the start you're very vulnerable to raiding. A lot of your maxes are like at the front, out in the open. But top left, actually, you with the fast transport, actually, yeah. It's not that fast. It's minute 4 already. But there's no attempt from Snowy to even contest the island, because he rushed the tech to max. So he never wanted to attempt it. But I'm not sure if it's the right move to do, but we will see. There's also a chance that they like talked about it, and because he is like one of the lowest rated players, maybe they didn't want to risk it. Him risking to get the island, because if you also transport rush it and you lose, then you're in even more trouble. So this is like the worst play, but it is more safe. What Snowy is doing.
I'm just watching the
big air fight at the
yeah.
bottom, and it's Yudi will lose it, but it was pretty close.
Yeah, it's basically
it was just
even.
one more inti. Yeah, there's a bomber from Yudi as well, but Rek just walked his ASU, so that's not gonna do a lot. Meanwhile, there is a lot more air coming from Grimplex than from FTX. Like,
did FTX just bomb his ally? Oh no, sorry, wrong color. I was gonna say, he dropped a bomb on there. He's on the top island.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, so that is the slot that goes T3 air eventually, but it's gonna be slower than usual because they also have to make Tech 1 stuff to help their team, because you can't just let your team get gangbanged like that. Let's see. So for now, Yudi quite badly lost air, mostly because there's a lot of air from Grimplex as well.
Yeah. He's getting 2v1'd. He's going to get his base bombed if he's not careful here.
Although, I think he can snipe the one bomber that's there.
Yeah, nice pickup.
Yeah, Bear. The bomber kills an engineer, but honestly, this is fine for Yudi. There's 10 intis above his base and not a single bomber in sight, so that's very nice. The bomber at the bottom from Yudi actually probably will get some engineers now, because it was just idle there, which is kind of funny.
It was waiting. It was just biding its time. Waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Snowy's actually going to move his ACU all the way to the top after the base has gotten built, so he's going to arrive kind of late, but he should be able to clean up that.
I think this is great for Snowy because you invested in that, and he didn't really get any benefits from it, and he has nothing to counter the ACU. Yu is in his base with his ACU, and that's pretty bad here. I have to keep in mind that Yu is a Saturn's player, so...
the Eco Boys.
He's like generally, according to Yudi, a very chill player that just likes to eco and play the long game, which this map isn't really about. Not to say it's not that he's bad at the other things per se, but like not moving your ACU from your main base is quite bad on a map like this, especially on that slot. You see that like Yudi and Rek at the bottom move towards the island.
They have a little
island. If your enemy ACU isn't there, you just get it for free, basically. You see Yudi's Max is getting raided now, even though he's in the slots that's
at the front.
Eventually has more maxes, probably. Like, they're very vulnerable, so you kind of need more investment to defend them. FTX is faster in mid, he has 2 factories up, while Grimplex just walked mid and isn't even making any.
He's just chilling. He's standing there menacingly on that ridge.
So top team will most likely win mid, although winning mid is not great on this. I mean, it's good, but it's not like super important. It's fine without winning it.
Please move the chat a bit lower. It's over the minimap. Okay, good point. Done.
Let me try to see. So Tech 2 air is out from Grimplex, making the first PGen. FTX is about to start the first PGen, so it's a little bit slower, but should generally be fine. And here's the issue with, well, not the issue, but Rek walked his ACU to the bottom, and he kinda, it's minute 8, he never really got control over it.
Yeah, Yudi's there reclaiming his factories. Not the best position to be in for him.
Let's see, Rek is on 3 Tech 2 maxes, meanwhile Snowy is on 6, 7 actually. Actually, Snowy got a lot more maxes at the top that Rek didn't get. So that means Grimplex got a lot more maxes.
Yeah, Grimplex got like at least these 3.
4. Yeah, 3 at least.
Yeah.
So
is that a team choice, or you think that's just how it happened when they set them engineers?
I mean, it's hard to say. There's a decent chance there's store bombs coming out from Grimplex, and he's going for Yudi's ACU.
Yeah, Yudi's
so basically
is getting low. Well, half health nearly. on that
There
one.
is, I would say, almost 100% chance that Judy dies here, because if he goes on the land, the wreck will just trade his life with Judy. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
But there's way more air as well from Grimplex than there is from FTX.
First
FTX
torp
is going
bomber.
tech 3 air as we speak. I mean, Judy and FTX need to combine the air and with
They have
maybe
to,
with a
yeah.
good micro. Yeah, so they're going together. It looks very even actually, but there's two people microing the air from the top team.
It's very close.
So it's very hard to say which way this will go. But I actually think even if top team wins air, Judy is still dead with all the torps coming in.
I
but
think
they're not even
Grimplex
gonna
wins here.
Yeah, they're not gonna win air, so Judy is actually dead here.
They've got no. Their frigates don't shoot up either because they're running Aeon. So.
And that's why like early support from the mid slot is very important on this map.
UD down into
For
the red
example,
on his
like
ACU. There's also a sub in here that's shooting him a Sylph.
Honestly, at this point he should contra K at the right timing, but he kind of missed exploding those frigates. So UD is dead. There's no saving him. So now it's really important that Grimplex is still spamming torp bombers. Meanwhile, FTX is T3 air. So
yeah,
it's a big question of whether the T3 air will be able to make up for it. But it's also important that like the ratings for the top team are more skewed. They're more spread out compared to the
has a bigger impact.
To Team Grimplex. So UD dying is a lot more detrimental, I would say, than Grimplex dying for Team Grimplex.
So Snowy up to T2, he's making Salem's. There's a fairly big naval engagement in the top for the two Cybran navies.
Yeah, you're just having a fist fight over there.
Yeah. That's gonna
But it seems like Yu is gonna win it.
It is, yeah.
There's
probably
like,
because
there was
Snowy
Tech 2 Navy rush.
Probably because Snowy put his mass into that Tech 2 Navy instead of more frigates.
Yeah, exactly. That's he probably should have waited for the first frigate. Actually, he gets out with 4 frigates because you didn't follow, which is quite nice. I would say that Snowy actually looks to be in a decently good position. You went Sexu air and is, well, not making torp bombers yet, but he can in the future. But considering that FTX is Tech 3 air, as long as FTX can hold the navy on the bottom and has some time, because there's no tech, well, 20% Tech 3 air from Grimplex, but that's quite a long time away. If FTX has time to build like 10 ASF advantage and he just kills all the other air, then you can't use his torp bombers to deal with the Tech 3 navy, and then he might be in some issues, but it's hard to say. This frigate push at the front of FTX though is looking quite dangerous.
Yeah, he's gonna lose some naval yards.
2 times as many frigates as FTX has, and he can't make torps yet to deal with them because he still doesn't quite have air. He's still making inties actually from the Cyber Factory he inherited from UD. But he should start making some torps from that probably because they're mostly Aeon frigates. There's no shard, who got buffed by the way in that mix.
Let's get some shards, let's go. New meta. FTX has some he has some ASF out which he could probably use to deal with the torps.
FTX needs to be careful with his ACU. There's still a lot of torp bombers, and even like he doesn't quite have air. I mean, they probably have no intel on this ACU, but it's like if he dies, it's game over.
Yeah,
like
I've got
there's no way Snowy can.
I can't swap to his. I can't swap to the players' views to see what they can see because it's Obs mode.
Yeah, I forgot to disable Supreme Scoreboard.
Yeah, I did as well. That's okay. I'll sort it for next time. For the people asking in the chat, this is the Redux Strategic Icons mod. It's in the FAF vault. If you type Redux into the FAF vault, you will find it. You can run it. It has different icons for the experimentals, so you can see what they are on the big map rather than having to zoom in to see what the blobs are and stuff like that. But I can definitely understand that it's not popular with the higher rated players, so I will remove it for the next game. Do not worry.
So we see FTX here with 2 broadswords out, so he will be able to chase the navy away. He also had a little bit of an air skirmish where he killed some air. It's very important that the T3 effect from Grimplex is very poorly positioned, especially the T3 pigeon adjacency.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of a mess.
Why didn't he put the T3 pigeon the other side, like where those Tech 1 pigeons are?
I don't know. That's...
He's got so many Tech 1 pigeons everywhere. Grimplex, what are you doing?
And he's probably gonna continue his air grids below, but FTX will have air for quite some time because he already has 3 air effects out and he has good adjacency on them, and that helps a lot. He helped the Navy with the gunships. He has 3 of them now, so I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go across the map to do a lot of damage. There's a cruiser out from the wreck.
Yeah.
But there's...
It's down here. He can
Navy
go
now
elsewhere,
from
though.
you, but... Yeah,
he doesn't have a cruiser outlet yet. A strat could do a lot of damage.
There's a big opportunity to go to you with his gunships. There's not enough AA there. A strat
no strat
quite make here.
Okay. I get you can't ground fire these two. They're too far apart.
I mean you can, but it's not worth it because the T3 pigeon is up, and like there's enough AA to just you know, snipe the strats, and then it doesn't work. Like then you donate some mass, and it's generally a lot less safe, especially on water maps. So the cruiser is about to
find
get
the gunships. Yeah, it's gonna find them.
Okay, that was I think very close. Yeah, it was like a few meters out of range. But I'm not sure what the plan with his gunships is because he needs to do significant damage.
I feel like
it's very important.
He could just fly over that middle pond and go and kill U's Tech 2 Naval Yard if he wanted.
The issue is he probably, I mean, he doesn't have perfect intel, of course, and he needs to manage 2 bases as well. So he's probably distracted, but it is extremely important. Like he's just defending against raids, but I feel like he needs to do more with them because the longer this game goes on, the worse the chances are, simply because they are lacking the strongest player. You see now also...
Well, it's all on Snowy. Snowy's going to hard carry this game with his...
Snowy is crushing right now, yeah.
What a monster.
There's storm bombers being made from you, but it's against Siren Navy, so this low amount, they get 1 pass and then they will die.
They get frigate shot.
But it is important to note that because of the extra maxes, that Snowy's slot is usually, I think, slightly worse, but now this makes it slightly better, if not just better than U's slot. Especially considering he got the top island as well. But yeah, there's a big navy push now from the wreck, but I don't see the cruisers. Where they picked off? Did I miss that?
If I go to, there is a cruiser wreck here, yeah. So they died.
There's one dead cruiser. I thought I saw 2.
There's also 1 less gunship, or 2 less gunships. So looks like we missed an engagement there.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
But now this push will be halted again.
Oh god, this poor Exodus is getting bullied.
Yep. So I guess defending that is fine. There's cruises being made from Snowy. That's a big mistake because he's not only is he Siren, but there's no reason for him to make it with the air control they have. The issue is, even though he has a unit advantage, he is against you, and you is a Sentinels player, so there's no doubt that you will have better Navy micro.
Yeah, he knows how to make the navies. This stealth boat's slightly out of position here. Sad.
Although he's kind of getting overwhelmed now, so it's actually very important. So the gunships got all 2k mass kills, so
yeah, nice.
It's going kind of fine. Okay, I was about to say I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Neptune rush, and there it is. It's 40%. So
let's go.
He kind of bought enough time for himself. I think he can go to the left now with the gunships. By the time the next push from the wreck arrives, the Neptune is done, and it will just counter it brutally.
Nice reclaim. But Rex actually managed to pick up his own cruisers here that he lost.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's very hard to keep a hold of that corner for FTX. without Navy control. But this push from Snowy is, I think he needs to retreat. He lost Destroyer just now, he only has 1 low HP Destroyer left. And Ju actually has like 3 Destroyers left. Like, he will just donate mass. Like, he kinda won the big fight. He's getting Reclaim Engineers, which is nice.
Yeah, this is good.
He's also doing a drop on the top left, which I really like, because that's completely undefended.
Yeah, drop all of his Mantis, which he made here, would be really cool. Where's he going? Yeah, just here. The PD has already started to counter that, though. It's been spotted.
It's true. FTX now kind of going left with his gunships, or at least he is showing that he wants to go there.
If he sends his Neptune out with that as well, he can.
Well, the Neptune needs to hold the Navy at the bottom, or just push there. And it's very important that there's not enough Aeon Destroyers to properly deal with that Neptune. Aeon Destroyers are actually decent against Neptunes if the quantity is high enough, but if quantity is low enough, then the Neptunes will just crush hard. There's only 1 cruiser that's kinda chasing away the gunships from FTX. He should probably make some repair stagings in middle because of his damaged gunships.
Yeah, that's a great idea. This one's half, this one's half, yeah, so he gets basically a free gunship's worth of HP if he does that.
Yeah, the issue is, we know that he can engage on the left with the gunships. There's only 1 cruiser and no more reinforcements.
But he doesn't.
But he doesn't. That's the issue.
Yeah. We're playing with God
Neptune
vision.
just sniped the cruiser on the right, so now he can actually... There's only 1 more cruiser on the right. There's quite some ASF now from Grimplex, though.
I can't count them because I can't. Do you want to give it a?
Yeah.
How many do you think?
There's
30 for Grimplex.
The air grids are about the same size. I'd say 30, 35.
I think FTX has more.
40-ish. Yeah, but it's very close. FTX also has inties with its mix, so it's actually a lot closer now. And FTX has been building Neptune. He got Judy's base, but there's not a lot left there because the mixes are so vulnerable. So basically, Grimplex can put a lot more mass into air than FTX can. Yeah. He's also making multiple Tech 3 mixes.
Snowy, no. You just lost another destroyer.
Ooh, that looks really bad.
Yeah, he's like down on destroyers quite significantly now.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even though it looks good, just the longer it goes on, like, the more you will get the advantage. Especially because Cyber Navy is, like, the destroyers, they're not as easy to micro as others because they can't shoot backwards.
Yeah.
Same with the frigates.
Although they tend to do pretty well in the low-rated games where people just like attack move them forwards and then nobody micros. So.
Well, yes, that's true, but that's, you know, it doesn't really work here.
Welcome to my rating.
Well, especially if your opponent is also Cybern. The drop on the left actually did kill Attack 2 Max, but losing the Navy fight is huge. So FTX is now going to do a big counterattack with the Neptune he has. He actually found Wreck Ace2 chilling in the water, which is quite funny. There's Tech 3 Navy Rush from Derp, which I don't think is the right move because his eco is way too bad for that. The issue is Aeon Battleship hard counters in Neptune.
Yeah.
Insanely hard. But it's still expensive. You need the HQ and the battleship, and that's like 20k plus math. But instead of that, he could have had 10 destroyers to overwhelm the Neptune instead. I hope these shifty frigates from FTX further back will move up in a bit.
Oh my god. He's just walked into a very large
oh, watch out with the Neptune!
ambush.
Don't suicide it!
No! No!
Yudi, you're supposed to be shouting at FTX right now.
Please! Please!
I think it will live, by the way. There's not enough here. There's a
second
backup
Neptune.
It will live. So, but it will trigger a big air investment. I'm very curious if the wreck will eventually concentrate on his air or frigates, because that's a move that not completely.
He could definitely control K on the
Okay,
the ASF.
actually the Neptune died. He didn't focus the destroyers with it. There's a big air fight gonna happen, and I feel like Grimplex has way more air.
Yeah, I think he's caught up.
But this is bad. 2 Neptunes were definitely a powerful push, but
Well, now it's only one.
now
so-
even the second one is gonna die. This is what I was saying. AIM destroyers in high numbers.
Yeah, well they
They're
have
a
the
lot
same
better, but
range.
the second one died.
No.
But they have the same range as exactly.
Third Neptune
It's now all about
arrives.
the air engagements.
But there's a Grimplex has been spamming SAMs towards the middle island, so that will definitely help him with the air engagement.
But FTX is now losing all the gunships, and his air moved away. Well, he lost 2 gunships, and a lot of his inties, which is not that important at this point, the inties, but they're still useful. Okay, big air engagement is happening now.
The inties tanked so many of those early shots. For
yeah, this seems to be a massive win for Grimplex.
And it's all the reclaim is going to be right outside
and
the Rex base.
There's the next Neptune arrives, but without the... I was about to say, I expect the Contra K any second now.
Sad. Well, that is GG for game 1.
Yes.
Victory to
a
Team
lot
Grimplex.
about it was because of that UD snipe. That's
yeah.
honestly, it doesn't surprise me that they went for it.
Just slightly out of position on that island and got caught.
Because you saw that, I mean, even though, like, with the air and the T3 Navy, FTX was in a good position there. But it's just managing everything, and of course he's not as good as Judy, so, like, he's not as good with the macro, so...